mothers, strictly for the mothers. This is for the mothers, the real mothers, whether you have kids or not. Girl, you still mama hot. This is for the mothers, strictly for the mothers. This is for the mothers, the real mothers. And so the real mothers of the earth don't necessarily have children, right? By being a woman, you are the essence of creativity and all the love and all the discipline and all the guidance you give. I'm so glad that our last speaker talked about what I do is talks about weight stigma. And health at every size is not healthism. Plenty of skinny people are unhealthy. You can't tell whether someone's healthy or not by looking at them. And as you age, you're either going to get a little bit unhealthy, and most of us don't start out completely healthy, right? And as you age, you're going to get a little bit unhealthy or you're going to die. So be glad to be a little bit older and maybe a little bit unhealthy. So it's not your business about anybody what size they are, and you don't know how they got to that size. Not just from, it's not from pigging out and not exercising. Many of us eat in ways that are intuitive and work for our body, and we exercise and we still end up with massive, voluptuous love. Okay, and so I would tell you too that a lot of us aren't so lucky to have had loving, consistent, kind mothers or mothers who were supportive of us. That's okay too. I would refer you to b-webster.com. She has a workshop called Healing the Mother Wound, and it's transformative and very healing. So this one I'm going to talk about was when I wrote it for my mother, Vivian, on Mother's Day 2016. And it is about NPR, National Public Radio. They publicized a study that found out to lower diabetes risk, you should have full-fat dairy, full-fat dairy. Aghast, grasp those pearls, some waiters would say. So, mother's milk with full fat, please, to Vivian on Mother's Day, 5/2/16. Now, according to NPR, who despite their sophistication need better anti-fat stigmatization education, much to my put me on a diet at 5 mother's sorrow, says that lowering diabetes risk is full fat dairy. So I never should have been force-fed that white water. Not a time, nary a time, should have been suckled on the nutrient-rich, full fat like Mr. Barry White's love, that's Big Fat Barry. Never, never gonna give you up. No, I'm never gonna stop. Stop the way I feel about you, girl. I just can't live without you. And I'm sorry, at 3 months, I bit her breast, probably because there was so little mother's milk already left. But she slapped me on the rear, separated me forever from her heart and her chest, always repeating that for the first 3 months. I should be glad I was so blessed. But thereafter, my big brother stole my bottle for months, and when discovered, big people just chortled. Funny too, she kept saying I was so fat that I'd never get a man, and her eyes equals worst fate ever. Worse than being kidnapped and dragged inside a white unmarked van, because then she'd be on TV crying to the camera about how much she loved me. And also adding, oh, don't break your back bringing that heavy hoe back. My permitted dairy lacked the taste and the fat that my body kept trying to put back. And when my big carcass, mutilated and raped, hit heaven's pearly gates, no need to slay the fatted calf, because despite skim milk and only for the chunky cheese, I am fat. The great mother nipple puckler I could never depend on for nourishment, never her wrath appease, so finally at least give that full fat mother's milk to me, please. Next one, I'm just going to skip the middle and go right to the end. This one is called Rhinestone Profession, and it's to leave you laughing instead of crying, but we can cry some more later if you need to, those who feel me, about mothers who are damaged and hurt and therefore don't have it to give to you. This is called a Rhinestone Profession. and you heard that I was a teacher, right? And people always say, "Oh, it's so wonderful influencing the young minds." Well, it was wonderful influencing her. But a lot of folks don't want to be influenced, you know. And then the blame always comes back on the one trying to give, right? And a black fat woman as a teacher is supposed to be everybody's mammy. And it just ain't so, the way Christina, the praying pastor's wife, told us. Okay, and this is a country song, a poem. So I'm going to give you a little twang, all right? And you feel it because there's plenty of black country singers too, you know, they just don't get the push. Mothers, don't let your daughters grow up to be teachers. Better they be bus drivers, cowgirls, or preachers. But mothers, don't let your girl children grow up to be teachers. Mothers, don't let your daughters grow up to be teachers. If they must enter, don't let them enter too young. Mothers, pay no attention to your daughters' intellectual features. Teaching will wash them up, wring them out before they've begun. So mothers, don't let your daughters go straight from grad school to the classroom, with only a summer here and a term there in some other field to bloom. Before the terminal school mom doom, teacher's tomb, powerless, low pay, high prep, nervous breakdown doom. Don't let them sentence themselves to a slavish lifetime of poorly paid paperwork. For that they only need a GED and a decent job as clerk. At the teacher rate, there'll be no one single at work to love or date, except for the older student jerk who's just using grade A bait. Could a woman with any temporary tiny teaching power never relate? Mothers, don't let your daughters grow up to be K through 12 high school or college instructors. For babysitting, they don't need certificates or to be doctors. It's really a rhinestone profession, though counselors who lead you that way never make a true confession. Here's your most important lesson. Use all your talents for some self-serving, non-martyred, bitter end. Remember, rhinestones are real junk, not even cubic zirconium. It's decadent diamonds that are a smart woman's true and best friend. Women, mothers, if you care for them, my beseechers, don't let your nice, nerdy daughters grow up to be teachers.
Right.
Thank you, and God bless all you teachers out there too. Have cards if you want them.
Awesome.